Serious changes for the New York Yankees look imminent as an insider has revealed a massive update surrounding the Yankees and what their future looks like in regards to a lot of the top of this organization. Looking at Aaron Boone, looking at Brian Cashman, a lot of fans want them out, and we have a huge update on it. Well, we also have an update on one of the key Yankees free agents that has fans pretty much split on what exactly they see happening with him, and we are going to jump in and discuss all of this, guys. There's a lot to go over on the Yankees right now as the offseason is officially upon us, and there's a lot of questions that the Yankees have to answer after getting bounced in the ALDS in 4 games to the Toronto Blue Jays. They have to figure out a way how to contend and if they have the right team to do it, and on top of that, if they have the right brass to do that, as many Yankee fans have been calling for both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman to get fired, and obviously those two have a very different likelihood of which one's going to get fired. But on top of that, there is a lot surrounding them, and we now have a new update on it from multiple insiders. And jumping right into it, guys, there's a lot to go over. But real quick, if you're part of that 75% that's not subscribed to Yankees Digest, this is the place for all New York Yankees updates. So make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on a single New York Yankees update. But with all that being said, let's jump into the video because we have a lot to talk about in the Yankees right now, man. Look, obviously, Hal Steinbrenner has been known to be fairly cheap compared to other Yankees owners and be pretty complacent. The man doesn't like to do a whole lot. He doesn't really go out there and make his voice made too much. Obviously, he was around in the Juan Soto situation, as he did do everything within his limitations to go get Juan Soto. That didn't work well, and Brian Cashman and the front office had to pivot with Cashman ultimately bring in Max Fried, not bring in Carlos Rodon, technically he did, but that was years ago. Bring in Max Fried, bring in Devin Williams, bringing in Paul Goldschmidt, and of course, none other than Cody Bellinger, who Bellinger and Fried were the 2 top guys who they brought in there. Bellinger hits free agency, and there is a lot of discussion surrounding him, and we do have another video coming out on Bellinger really soon. But right now, in regards to the Yankees, many think that the problem is less so with the players and more so with who's running the players, whether it's Brian Cashman and the decisions he's made in the front office, or Aaron Boone and the decisions he's making as the team's manager, something that I've adamantly agreed with, that Aaron Boone is not the guy for this Yankees team to win. So I want to see the New York Yankees make a change. However, obviously, we all don't always get what we want here, but we do have an update on the situation as Brian Hoke has discussed all of this with the whole sort of situation now coming to light, where Brian Hoke mentioned, I could see there being some movement on the coaching staff, but I think they need to take a good, hard look at everything. Now, that is the first time we've actively seen one of the Yankees insiders say, look, nothing's guaranteed with Aaron Boone and with this coaching staff. There could be a lot of changes here with, whoever's like, for instance, just like, not just like Aaron Boone, but also just like other coaches, first base, third base, pitching. I don't think Matt Blake is going anywhere, but like, there is a whole slew of things that is happening right now that is going to make you at least consider moving on from Aaron Boone. We've seen the Yankees move on from managers when there's not a lot of winning. We saw with Girardi, we saw with Joe Torre, and we're likely going to see with Aaron Boone if he doesn't start winning a World Series or multiple World Series for the Yankees. And he's made a lot of boneheaded decisions that have impacted the Yankees' chances negatively of winning the World Series. So with that in mind, it wouldn't be shocking to see Aaron Boone get moved at all and get fired from this job. Now, Ken Rosenthal mentioned that it's another lost year for the Yankees, at least by the way they define success with their championship or bust approach. They've now gone 16 seasons since their last World Series title, all under Cashman, who has been the GM since 1998. They've gone 8 without 1 under Boone, and their only series appearance during his tenure came last season. Joe Torre won 4 World Series with the Yankees and kept his job for 10 years. Joe Girardi won 1 World Series and also kept his job for 10 years. Boone's expiration date then might be 2027, assuming a lockout doesn't wreck that season. Cashman has guided the Yankees to 27 straight winning campaigns and 4 titles, but at some point, his time will come as well. Now, I don't see Brian Cashman getting moved or getting fired the way that I do see it more likely with Aaron Boone. And as Rosenthal mentioned, Hal Steinbrenner, the Yankees' principal owner since November of 2008, has never had a GM other than Brian Cashman and might fear the unknown. Cashman views Boone as a trusted partner, and Boone's connection with his players is undeniable. As The Athletic's Chris Kirshner wrote, managing egos is one of the main job requirements for a modern-day manager, and few are better at it than Aaron Boone, which in fairness is true. It's the one thing where Boone's actually good at. He's good for morale. He's a player's type of coach. He's going to ride for his guys more than anything else. There's a reason why he gets ejected more than any other manager. He's always going to stand up for his players like no one else. The problem is the decision making. The rest of it has not been good. It's just being a player's manager. Being the chaperone has worked out great. He's an excellent chaperone, but when he has to coach games, it's not really working quite well, and it's one of the reasons why the Yankees have struggled so much. There's no doubt about it, and Yankee fans are getting fed up with it. As mentioned by The Athletic's readers were asked to share their thoughts on the matter with a poll asking fans to select one of four options: fire both Boone and Cashman, fire Boone and keep Cashman, or fire Cashman and keep Boone, or keep both, not fire both twice. Sorry, excuse me, read that wrong. But obviously too, that doesn't make sense. Not the point. Look, and here's how the voting broke down. Fire both Boone and Cashman got 41%. Keep both Boone and Cashman got 26%. Fire Boone and keep Cashman got 21%. And fire Cashman and keep Boone got 12%. Something that's important to note here is this happened right after an ugly playoff loss. Obviously, fans are going to be more upset than usual, and the rationality is going to be less. So we have to understand that that's a real situation here. At the same time, I am adamant that one of these, or really two of these, is the correct answer. Now, there's no reason to fire Cashman and keep Aaron Boone. I don't see the point of that. I don't see how 12% of people voted for that. I really don't know what they were thinking. Keep Boone and Cashman, I don't really understand as well, which means you're seeing the direction I'm going in here. You either fire them both or you keep Cashman around. I like the third option, firing Boone and keeping Cashman, and here's why. Because as much as I imagine the Yankees could do better with the GM, they could do worse. It's not like Aaron Boone is struggling to get deals done. Remember, Brian Cashman is the same guy who went out there and traded Cody Poteet for Cody Bellinger. And the Cubs waived Poteet in like 3 weeks. So clearly, Aaron, I don't know why I keep wanting to call Brian Cashman Aaron Boone, but clearly Brian Cashman is decent at parts of the job. He's gotten stuff right. He's made good signings. He convinced Max Fried to come here. He did a great job with multiple trades. Now, yes, some stuff hasn't worked out. No doubt about it, not all this stuff has been good. But some of this stuff actively has worked out. And with that in mind, it is something to be aware of. And also the fact that I don't ever see a world where Hal Steinbrenner fires Brian Cashman unless things take a really wrong turn. So part of it is just me feeling realistic on this, but also I just don't expect any of this to happen. Now, look, honestly, when we look at this whole situation, I do understand why fans want them both gone, but it does make sense to move on from Boone at this time. If you're going to move on from him, now is the appropriate time to do so, if you ask me. But also on top of that, we have other news as well regarding Devin Williams. As Brian Hoke mentioned, if you asked me back in April or May, I would have said there's no chance the Yankees re-sign Devin Williams. I still think it's more likely that Devin Williams gets a multi-year deal elsewhere, but I wouldn't rule Devin Williams coming back out of the equation here. Now, Devin Williams also spoke on this himself, saying, right after the playoffs ended, by the way, right after the Yankees got eliminated, saying, I'm definitely open to re-signing. It takes two parties for that. I would definitely be open to that. I've grown to love being here. I love the city. I love taking the train to the field every day. I've really enjoyed my experience. I mean, look, Devin Williams seems like an excellent guy, and I'm not against the Yankees bringing him back whatsoever. Look, there's no doubt. Devin Williams had an awful season, especially compared to what he usually did, but also just an awful season for a relief pitcher. His WAR was a negative .0 or .3. He had a 4.79 ERA after being in the ones for the past couple of years. In the 67 games he appeared in, he only had 18 saves, blew his fair share. He did still strike people out while getting 90 strikeouts in 62 innings, but his whip was also well below his career average, or way, like, technically above, but you know how it goes. And frankly, it just wasn't a good year for Williams, who we've seen play absolutely phenomenally outside of last year. I mean, since his first year in 2020, where he started playing some games, he appeared in 22 games, had a .33 ERA. He then had a 2.50 ERA in 2021. Since then, he hadn't had a plus 2.5 ERA or even a plus 2 ERA since he went to the Yankees and had the 4.79. He had a 1.25, a 1.53, and a 1.93. He just kept getting better and better until this year. He just couldn't get it together whatsoever and severely struggled. So there's a world where the Yankees decide ultimately, you know what? We'll keep Devin Williams around, have a great relief pitcher, and we could use him, see if he can close some games with David Bednar's not around. This is a totally realistic situation. Here's the same thing. I don't expect any of that to happen. I expect Devin Williams to see what happened with the Yankees and run for the hills. And I mean run and don't stop running. Like, fully run to, like, California. Like, really get the hell out of New York and try to forget whatever the hell this season was for him. That's what I expect to happen with Devin Williams. That's what I'm banking on. If you ask me right now, what do I see happening with Devin Williams? I do think he'll sign a multi-year deal somewhere more out west or just somewhere else. It might be literally wherever, but I don't think that it will be back with the Yankees, especially because I imagine he wants to still close games. And he's not going to get that opportunity with the Yankees, who are going to be using David Bednar in that role next year. Also, then frees up the Yankees to go out there and get more relief pitchers than just paying for Devin Williams, who still will probably demand a bit of a premium over some other guys so the Yankees can go out there and get. But guys, what do you think about this? Would you have any interest in keeping Devin Williams around? I mean, the man in the playoffs, in fairness, he appeared in 4 games and had 4 strikeouts, a 1-0 record, and did not allow a single earned run or a single run in general. So Williams did deal in the playoffs after all. And we do see that it got mentioned right here by Max Greenfield that if the Yankees are serious about contending, they should really go out there and do a few moves. One of them is sign Kyle Tucker because he's the best free agent outfielder available. Signing him and putting him in left field gives you a great 1-2 punch alongside Aaron Judge. Tucker also has struggled to stay healthy, and his postseason career has been underwhelming, but he fits the Yankees very well. On top of that, they signed Devin Williams. They give him 3 years, $48 million, opt out after 1 year with a front-loaded deal in years 1. Williams was marvelous down the stretch for the Yankees, including getting some big outs in the playoffs. The ERA was high, but he's still quite good, and he's going to rebound in 2026. So those were 2 moves that were mentioned on top of another trade, a trade that we will talk about in a different video as well, because frankly, we're just out of time right now, so make sure to stay tuned for that so you're subscribed, have those post notifications on. Have a great day, guys. Like this video. Go Yankees.